My dear people of God, today the church celebrates the feast of the Transfiguration of the Lord. I wish everyone happy feast of the Transfiguration of the Lord. What a grace for Peter and James and John to see Jesus transfigured. They got a preview of the glory of the risen Lord from the dead and his glory in heaven. It was also a preview of the glory we all hope to share in heaven. This was a very special grace for Peter and James and John. It was not only special grace Jesus shared with Peter, James, and John. Earlier in the Gospel, Mark and Luke, we read that Jesus only allowed Peter and James and John with him into the house of the synagogue official whose daughter he raised up again. Later, when Jesus was teaching in the temple, Peter and James and John asked Jesus a question privately and he gave them more teaching. In Gethsemane, Jesus took Peter, James, and John aside from the others to be near him during his agony. So, Peter, James, and John received many special graces from Jesus. Just before receiving this special grace of seeing Jesus transfigured, Jesus told his disciples that he must suffer greatly, be rejected by the elders, chief priests, and scribes, be killed, and rise after 3 days. How did they react? Peter rebuked Jesus for saying this, and Jesus responded, "Get behind me, Satan. You are thinking not as God does, but as human beings do." The disciples had to learn that Jesus was not exactly the type of Messiah that they were expecting. Instead of being a Messiah to liberate Palestine from the Roman domination, he told them he would be a suffering Messiah and would be executed. What a shock! That was surely a bit much to take. Immediately following this, we read that Peter, James, and John saw Jesus transfigured. How they needed this grace now. They had left everything to follow Jesus, and he had just told them he would be killed. They needed reassurance, and Jesus did not let them down. They received a huge grace now on the mountain as they saw Jesus transfigured. Moses and Elijah also appeared and spoke with Jesus. Moses received the law from God on Mount Sinai, and Elijah could be regarded as the greatest of the prophets. My friends, the father said, "Listen to him." In other words, do not be scandalized at the teaching of my son Jesus about his forthcoming passion, death, and resurrection. As our preface today says, he revealed his glory to his disciples to strengthen them for the scandal of the cross. My friends, we meet Jesus in a most intimate way every time we receive him in the Eucharist. It is the time when we are closest to Jesus. We meet Jesus in the scriptures as they touch our hearts. Jesus speaks to us now when we read the scriptures. The scriptures are not just about the life of Jesus. In the scriptures, Jesus also speaks to us about our lives, and in them we meet Jesus as he speaks to us about our lives. We meet Jesus in a very special way in all the sacraments. We have seen Jesus in great people like Pope John Paul II and Mother Teresa. My friends, as we celebrate this feast, let's continue to encounter the Lord in each and every day of our life, in all the events that take place, so that we also may be able to listen to his voice. May our Heavenly Father intercede for all of us, and may he proclaim to all of us that we are his beloved. Just like he made Jesus his beloved son, may he also make all of us his beloved. Let's listen to him. Amen.